Hi, fifth grade. This is Mrs. Pritchard. I'm here to just do a quick, hopefully quick intro on measurement, since that is a math target that we will be heading toward in the next week or so. My class got a little intro of this before spring break, but it will be a good review. So, and just a little side note, the resource that I'm using, the staircase for the conversions, I've also put a copy of that in the math resources on my Google Classroom page. So, okay, so first thing, if I'm talking about the metric system, measurement, and I'm talking about measuring length, the length of an object, does anyone have an idea of what units maybe I would use for that, that maybe you've heard or are familiar with? Yes. So I heard someone say meter. Perfect. That's actually going to be our base unit. And then what about for those really small objects? Yeah, like centimeter, millimeter. What about for like really big objects? Yes, kilometers. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to show you the first thing is what we call the staircase. And it's just a resource we're going to be using when we start doing metric conversions. So I'm going to show it to you just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see it looks like a staircase. We have our highest, kind of largest unit up here being a kilometer, and our largest unit down here being a millimeter. And then there's our base unit, which I said was meter. So what we're going to do really quick is just kind of label each of those steps with the correct abbreviation. So we have our meter, which is M, and I'm going to go down the staircase. So does anyone know decimeter, what that would be? Yes, Tyson, awesome, DM. Thank you for remembering that. So I'm just going to put it and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, what about centimeter? Yes, CM, good job. I'm going to go kind of quick because I know you probably know this last one. And then millimeter, MM. It makes me think of M&Ms. Okay. Now, what if I'm going up the staircase? So I'm going to those larger units. So I did say kilometer, which KM, good. Now these other ones are a little bit trickier. So hectometer. That's going to be our next one. Yes, Riley, HM, thank you. Now this next one tricked my class, and I even had to look back at the abbreviation. So it's going to be decameter, and we thought it was DKM, but we were wrong. This one's a little hard. I might need to help you. Oh, someone in my class remembers? Awesome. Yes, DAM. Good job. Okay, now I'm going to show you just what I did. Okay, so I just labeled again from kilometer all the way down to millimeter. Now the next thing we're going to do on our chart is every step you take in the metric system, whether it's up or down the staircase, is going to be worth 10. Can you do that with me? 10. Okay, so I'm going to put on each step of our staircase, I'm going to put a 10. Okay, just so we know. So when I look here, I have a 10. So what that means is every time I take a step, okay, so let's say I'm at millimeter and I'm going to go up to meter. So I'm going to take 1 step, 2 step. Okay, that's kind of how we're going to start using this. Okay, now, who has an idea of what do you think happens when I'm going down the staircase? So that means I'm going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. Do you think I'm going to be multiplying or dividing when I start doing conversions? Okay, I heard multiply. Why though? Yes, because if we're going from a larger to a smaller unit, it's going to take more of them because they're smaller. So I would multiply because multiplication gives us a larger answer. Excellent. So I'm just going to put a little times 10 on those bottom ones. I'm going to show you really quick. So I just kind of put a times 10. Now, what do you think happens when I go up the staircase? So I'm going from a smaller to a larger unit. Yes, I'm going to divide because it's not going to take as many of them. You guys are so brilliant. So I'm just going to put on my staircase. So then I just put divide by 10. Okay, and this is what I told my kids. Think of it this way. When you go down the staircase, larger to smaller, it's easier. when you go down a staircase, so that's like multiply. When you're going up a staircase from a smaller to a larger unit, it's harder, and a lot of times division is harder for kids. So just kind of think of that. Okay, so we're just going to do like 2 quick practice problems, and then we'll get more in depth on this next week. Okay, so here we go. So we have 3 2/10 of a centimeter, and I want to know how many meters would that be? So the first thing we're going to do is code. My class knows that I love to code stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is think, am I going larger to smaller or smaller to larger? So I'm going to look. I'm going to let you look. Okay, so we're going centimeter and we're going to meter. So centimeter to meter. So first thing we're going to say is, which direction are we going? I see that I'm going up the staircase. Do you? Okay, so I would code that as centimeter is smaller, and I'm going to meter, which is larger. And what operation does that mean? When I'm going up the staircase. Good, it's harder, so I'm dividing. So I'm just going to show you that. So this is how I coded it. Okay, now I need to know, and some of you probably already noticed, how many steps up did I take? Okay, so I was at centimeter and I'm going to meter. So I'm taking 1, 2 steps. Now this is really important. So when you take a step, I took 2 steps. So that's like 10 times 10, which is what? 100. Good job. Okay, now I'm going to write it a little different because I think this might be easier, and I'm going to show you. So I'm going to do 3 2/10 divided, because we said it was divided, and I said every step is 10. So I'm going to put 10, and then how many steps did I take? 2, right? So look at how I wrote this, you guys, and this should look familiar. I wrote it like a power of 10, right? So 10 being my base, which is my step, 2, my exponent being how many steps I took. Okay, so now I'm just going to solve this expression, and it's a shift one. So if I am dividing and my answer should be getting smaller, what direction am I going to shift my decimal? Yes, to the left, because it's getting smaller. How many spaces am I going to shift it? How do I know? Yes, 2, right? I'm going to look at my exponent because that's how many steps I took. So I'm going to rewrite this here, 3 2/10. I'm going to shift it to the left twice. 1, 2. I'll hold this up. So then I shifted it to the left, 1, 2, right? Okay, or I should go this way, 1, 2, sorry. And I got 32 thousandths of a meter. Awesome job. Okay, let's try one more and then I'm done talking. Okay, this one I'm going to show you, we're going to go kilometer to meter. Okay, and we just have a whole number. So kilometer to meter, let's code this. I'm going to hold this up. So I'm going kilometer to meter. So I'm here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going down the staircase. So someone tell me how to code it. I'm going down, so I'm going, you're right, a larger to a smaller, which is easier. So what operation? Multiply, excellent. Okay, and someone tell me, how many steps did I take down? I'm going to hold it up again. Kilometer. Yes, 3. So I'm going to say 28 times 10 to the third. Now remember, since I'm multiplying, my answer should be getting larger, right? So I should be shifting to the right. But it's a whole number, 28. Where's my decimal at in that? Yes, like we learned in the past, it's sitting at the end of that number. It's kind of like invisible. So I'm going to put it there. How many places am I going to shift it to the right? 3. Yes, because there were 3 steps we took. So I'm going to shift it 1, 2, 3, which means how many zeros am I going to have to add? 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to box my answer. So that means when I did 28, and here was my decimal, I had to shift it 3 places to the right, 1, 2, 3. So I would get 28,000 meters. It's going to take a lot more of them because they're small. Awesome. You did so good today. High five yourself. Good job. Okay, well, you'll be seeing a lot of me. Until next time. Thanks, guys.